Now, with your permission, Excellency, we will open the floor for questions.
Yes. I would like to know that how Vietnam could achieve this exponential growth in the
If you can take the mic closer.
growth in the textiles exports and all. What are the key unique features? How you could achieve this?
That's a very hot question. If you look at the industry, textile garment industry in Vietnam, we have competitive advantage in textile, in garment, not textile. Because the textile is more capital intensive industry, but garment is labor intensive. Right? So basically, for the textile, we are not so strong. We very much dependent on the import from China, right? And somehow from India. So, but textile Vietnam import or development very much driven by the garment export, right? But the garment export, number one export for garment, nearly 45% of our export, US market. So that's secret. That's why during the negotiation with the US, TPP, we say without concession for textile garment industry, we never sign TPP. So US is the most important market for textile garment, very garment, Vietnam export. And right now, textile garment employ nearly 3 million workers. Right? So that's about economic issues, that's social issues. So how to develop textile? One is very much driven by garment export. Another one is by the FDI. Because if you would like to export to one particular market, you need to look at the FDI. Vietnam have that in market, and now need to comply with rule of origin, right? So sorry, during the renegotiation with the US, TPP, many investors from China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Korea, those countries, they are not yet a member of TPP. They invest in Vietnam to take advantage of Vietnamese integration TPP, right? So you have to look at the FDI, that's very important. For example, TPP or CPTPP, EM forward, right? But if you look at EV FDI, Vietnam European, fiber forward, right? It's easier, right? For the Vietnam, Korean, or ASEAN Korean FDI, cut, right? So basically everything. And last but not least, because we would like to increase gradually value added created by the local company. So that's why we also develop textile. But depends on your capability, depends on the way you can find the partner for investment. So three the key factors for textile. Garment export, right? FDI and the market, the localization, rule of origin, you have to look at, and gradually investment to get high value.
What has been just offered as explanation is very soft, but there is something more to appreciate. Vietnam has had one of the best skilling programs in the world. We are struggling with skilling in India. If we actually see what Vietnam did in terms of skilling, it's made a beginning with that. And that's how India began to grow, because skills were available. Secondly, the Vietnamese workforce, basically led by women, is very disciplined, very disciplined. And that has also been an added advantage, attracting the area. But skilling is the answer to what actually you asked.
Before we move to the next two questions, let me add to what has been said by Dr. Tri Thanh. In addition to the three major reasons that brought to the substantial growth of garment industry in Vietnam, I would like to add that Vietnamese people, they are also very entrepreneurial, especially the people in the south. They know how to seize the opportunity, and they lobby back at the government level in order for the government to try to negotiate and sign FTA agreement. The huge difference between India and Vietnam is that Vietnam opened its economy 200%, totally 200%. Yes, our GDP is around 250 billion US dollars, and our total trade to 500, towards 500. So those people, they know, and they once they seize the opportunity, and they open the garment industries. They really cut and make. Number two, now it's a time for us to realize that we cannot do just cut and make. We need to add value. We need to add branding. That's why fashion show is becoming very popular in Vietnam. That's why when you enter our embassy, you see the fashion show of our staff. So we add all the staff of embassy, try to add the development of fashion design in Vietnam, so we can add value, local value to Vietnam, and we try to have some Vietnamese branding. That's very important to do. Now my last point is that before I came here, I met the Association of Garment of Vietnam, and they said that please, if you go to India, please try to find an industrialist who can come to Vietnam and invest about 200-300 million US dollars for textile or for garment, because at the moment we import immensely from China, and they want to diversify the supply source. Number one, and number two, it also very much contributes to our geopolitical stability, because we want to give incentive to any Indian company that are willing to invest in that area, because we need to give substance to the social partnership that Vietnam is enjoying in India at the moment.
But only one thing, you need to comply with and satisfy best environment, right? Standard. That's only problem on the textile if you like to invest in Vietnam. If you satisfy on the environment, the grade A, B, C, grade A, that's okay.
I'm from Aligarh Muslim University, taking up entrepreneurship this year. So I thank Akram and His Excellency to give me this opportunity. While talking about tourism and hospitality, I strongly feel that Taiwan can look forward for organizing more of edu-tourism and training that could be given weightage. I'm sure that this would not only facilitate influx of the people, that would improve the quality of the tourists that you are having, because that will get more diverse. Second thing is that India, we do send our children abroad for studies, and given your geographic location and connectivity to that part of the world, I think Vietnam, if position itself in that direction, can attract a huge lot of influx of the students, and which is important. Thank you.
My name is B.K. Sharma. I am from Green Filaments. In fact, we are exporting yarns to your country. Just wanted to know if we have to, set up a spinning plant, for example. What are the benefits which we will get from the government in terms of yarn sale, cotton purchase, power subsidy? These are few of the questions which are coming to my mind.
I'm again from the textile background. So if I wish to set up a sewing industry in Vietnam, so I wish to know what is the government sector setup over there in terms of size, activity, or the turnover, the environment laws there, And the cost breakup in terms of energy cost, labor cost, quality of labor productivity, and the typical transit time and shipping cost to major markets like US or Latin America.
About the input and the cost, electricity. Electricity we subsidize in general, right? But two kind of subsidization. One is horizontal, right? Whatever the case. So as our presentation, my presentation, that my presentation already mentioned, we gradually increased the tariff electricity. But up to now, still subsidized. Together with make the market to be more competitive. Right? The second kind of subsidization, I have no time to mention about that in my presentation, is that in Vietnam now, if you do services business, you have to pay higher tariff electricity compared to manufacturing, right? So in that sense, services sector, they have to pay higher, meaning they subsidize for the manufacturing, right? So the tariff for the household consumption, for the services business, for the manufacturing different, right? So of course that's a good right. So gradually, if the market become of competition, so basically market based. Right? Second thing, we have some policy associated with the gender issues because in the footwear and textile garment, more than half, most workers are women, ladies. They have that. And we comply with the many good labor standards, like ISO 8000, for example. Right? But in general, textile garment in Vietnam developed very significantly without any government policy support, right? You know why? Because of the one condition when the EU and the US, before we access to WTO, the year 2000, we have to satisfy. Otherwise, we cannot, and they cannot remove the quotas for the textile garment at that time for Vietnam, and very hard for Vietnam to access to the WTO. So basically, that's a great market, competitive sector.
And also,
My quick answer to your question on labor cost or tariff.
Yeah.
As far as I know, the tariff for manufacturing, electricity tariff is about 7.5 to 8 cents per kilowatt hour, and the monthly salary for garment textile industry, I think is about 300 to 400 US dollar per month.
Yeah.
Sir, you made two statements about the energy cost.
Mhm.
You said that this is the energy cost and as of now it is subsidized.
Yeah, I mean subsidized in
And in the
terms.
same line, next line, you said the subsidy may go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, right.
So if I set up an industry now, having electricity cost at X, so what will happen after 2 years or 3 years? Will it increase or
I see what you mean, but even the low electricity tariff comparing to Thai or Indonesia, well, I think it is still very low compared to Thai
Yeah,
or
right, yeah.
Indonesia.
Average ASEAN country low.
But it's not easy to predict because but I think the cost may be like gradually go up by 2 or 3% annually. That's my guess. But I think gradually it increased, but still low compared to other Asian countries.
I'm Praveen Paliwal. I'm from Pashupati Spinning. The chairman is as well here. We are primarily into swing thread business, which is good to hold the garment. Okay. And what is the best way? I would like to know that if you want to have a presence in Vietnam for this business, what is the best way to explore? Is there a channel where we can go visit them if somebody can guide?
Let me tell you one thing. In India, I know that you also have economic diplomacy. But I asked some Indian colleagues whether they were brought before taking post overseas to meet business people, and especially different sectors. The answer is no. Contrary to Vietnam, like me myself, this is my third ambassadorial post. I was ambassador in Paris, in Brussels, in New Delhi. And each posting, I was asked to join what we call like a capacity or awareness building program. And we were brought to different sectors and even different companies. That's why we know a lot of companies and we understand their requirements. Coming back to your questions, that's why our main task is to help you. Priority of our ambassadors during peacetime is economic diplomacy. This workshop is one of a series we will organize. We do a roadshow, we do different cities. This is the first time we do with them. Perhaps next time we do especially on tourism, or next time we do especially on education, or we do wedding because we have Mr. Nitin Shah who just wed his son in Phuket for 7 days, 7 nights, and he had a lot to share. So back to your questions, we are here. If you need anything, please come to us. We have economic section, head of economic section. We have commercial section, head of commercial section. We have also Mr. Ha on that side, on that end. So he has a lot of networks. So if you want to go there and open presence, Mr. Ha can help. Before this workshop started, I'm very pleased to meet the IT company. HCL IT company, and I don't know what the president and they decided to invest in Vietnam, and they intend to create 10,000 jobs in the next 5 years. So please, I'm here, and please stay back, and you can have a bilateral talk after this.
I'm representing Federation of Buying Agents. We are primarily the people who are looking at sourcing needs of different factories, buyers who come to India. Now I have a proposition for Vietnam factories. Since we deal with a lot of international customers abroad, there was a time when candles were having a huge anti-dumping from US. So Chinese immediately went to Vietnam and set up those factories. That is what I have learned from few of our customers. So what I am proposing to you as a federation, because these are the common areas of working with us. Your factories and our factories have a common area to sell to the overseas developed nations as a market into exports. So there could be a fusion of products and there could be a fusion of factories possible, which I am thinking as a vision. That you have certain strength and Indian raw material, Indian manufacturers also have a certain strength. So product to product also could be a fusion, and an investment into Vietnam by an Indian factory having some component of Indian product and some component of Vietnam product. Then you sell that final product to the overseas market. So who is the right person actually, then we should be networking with that person. Thank you.
The reason is to invite you here in order to listen to the various presentations, our experts, our practitioners, and from the politician perspective. We strongly advise you to team up with a local partner. And if you are able to team up with a local partner, for instance, like you want to open a yarn factory in Vietnam, please team up with the cut and make factory. So, because they have quota, because you be able to benefit quota for free trade agreement that we have signed with USA, with the European Union. So we will introduce to you various partners. So like, tell me your new wishes, and we have a team here. We give you like a menu of dishes. So you can choose this 1, 2, 3, and Mr. Ha can help you. Because we have a directory of the companies. It's like a small chamber of commerce. So stay back and continue the talk.
So everything produced in Vietnam has originated from Vietnam. Whatever you joint venture with any country in the world. But if you import from India, right, that part cannot calculate it as the origin from Vietnam. So you have to look at the local content and localization, the rules of origin. The second, if we join the broader FDI, so sometimes the rule of origin they take into account all the member joining that FDI. Say, for example, ASEAN, India FDI. So if Vietnam import a lot from other ASEAN countries before exporting to India, 40%, right? On that calculated at the origin from Vietnam. Aggregate rule of origin, right? So very important to look at the rule of origin requirement, and that's depend very much on the FDIs. So if the FDI with the more members, easier for you to rely on the production network. But if the FDI is just bilateral, there's sometimes more problem with the rule of origin.
My name is Sudeep Grover, CEO of just a company called IMC Service and CEO of this company. Basically, sourcing company like Mr. Lopez just explained, sourcing company for international customers. Right. Now, I have a question about the leather industry because as far as I know by the market report that the Vietnam imports the finished leather from Australia. Leather, finished leather, and it makes different types of leather garments also in Vietnam. But we have an industry for the leather goods like belts, wallets, and this kind of industry marketing Vietnam. Do you have a market for this kind of goods also? Because India is very strong in this market. Leather finished good and fashion footwear industry. Because I think that could be very potential in Vietnam, and India is very strong at. And also my colleague just, Lokesh just told about the textile and clothing industry. We just try to make you understand what kind of potential India has in supply of the raw materials from India. Like India is the largest exporter for the yarn. Even China is buying from India. And we as a federation, because I'm part of the Federation of Buying Agents, Mr. Lokesh is the president of this organization. So we have a large team of buying agents working in different fields. Some is baking fabrics, some is sourcing fabrics and yarns and different kind of coding fabric, technical textiles. Many areas we are already into. So can we also get a support from Vietnam so that if they need our support of federation, they can approach any of the members and we can help you in a better way. We can get you better price which you can get from the individual company.
Basically, the leader of footwear industry, operated everything, something like textile garment. When we look at Vietnam, most input for the leader and footwear industry is dependent on other countries. So say, if we have cooperation Australia, India, whatever, so say right now we have ASEAN, Australia and New Zealand FDI. We also have ASEAN and India. The problem is, India, you don't have FDI with Canada. So that's very much depend on negotiation for the asset, right? So that's a sad news. Even the leader would like to conclude the asset negotiation by the end of this year, already delayed for 3 years, right? But I don't think we can conclude by the end of this year. And one reason maybe India is one reason, of course. So I think India had to need to have more proactive approach, particularly frankly speaking, in negotiation with China. India, China, and the ASEAN on some problem.
Leather-related product is one of the key export items in Vietnam. We have to import a lot of raw material from various countries because our shoes, leather product, leather bag is one of our enjoy our comparative advantages because number one, because of our labor cost. Number two, because of our design advantage. And then number three, because of our quota which we enjoy under the free trade agreement. So we strongly advise you to team up with the leather product manufacturing companies in Vietnam and work with them and provide with them and team up and export to the various markets.
To remark, under the TPP and CPTPP, even in general, you have to follow the rule of origin, young forward, right? But for the back, for something like that one, no that rule. You can import from any country. But for the EU and North America market, you need to comply with some environmental standard for the leader. But no rule of origin in the sense of young forward for the bag and many other products.
Right. So there are
that's kind of flexibility.
right.
Yeah, under the TPP.
Actually, we in next phases when we do sectoral presentations or programs, we will have specific session on the regional and bilateral FTAs. There are a lot of complications in terms of for the industry to understand how can they leverage FTAs for their business purposes. So we will have separate sessions on that. It is not that easy to understand in a very small and short discussion. But yes, industry has not been able to leverage that more. But we can do analysis of that and we can understand this. Any other questions? Yeah, at the back, the gentleman is raising his hand.
My name is Sumit. I am from Aurora Associate, Chandigarh. What are the prospects for food processing industry in Vietnam? And we are into the supply of raw materials and processed food. So, what are the prospects in Vietnam about supplying that?
I want to share with you one thing. During the crisis, 2007, all the sector in Vietnam were hit, except food processing. So after that, the government realized that in the time of turbulences, agricultural product and food processing is the buffer for the country to be stable. And therefore, because food processing also relates to farmers in Vietnam. Therefore, we give strong support to that sector. Therefore, food processing, including food industry, food processing, including also seafood processing, added value, take up nearly 20% of our total export. And it's very stable, it increased substantially. And food industries are also in terms of fruits, vegetable. And now that if you see, I have a task to talk to the Minister of Commerce, Suraj, to open the Indian market for the 5 fruits of Vietnam to get access to this. And we were successful to get dragon fruit into Indian market. But we still have another 4 other fruits. But in return, we opened up our market for pomegranate, for instance, grape from India to enter into Vietnam. So this is a flourishing industry. So please come and interact with us.
I am representing the transportation vertical of the company. I am from Tata Projects. My question is, what kind of infrastructure development opportunities are there in Vietnam, and what are the upcoming projects which we can look into?
Xây sắp xe hạ tầng đấy, anh có thể ép thêm.
So I think in terms of infrastructure, road and bridge or IT infrastructure.
Yeah, infrastructure.
General, right?
Specifically to roads,
physical. Frankly speaking, I think government will have promote a lot policy to attract foreign investment into infrastructure, because we have huge demand for developing the infrastructure. But the big issue is like it takes quite a long time to recover the money, the funding, right? So it's always the opportunity and challenges. And recently, I think the government planned for metro or the new highway connecting Hanoi to Saigon. and even some airport, new international airport in Long Thanh, Ho Chi Minh City, 1 hour driving. I think a lot of big projects, but this require a lot of efforts to and I think now local partner. I think that's one of the model we are also working on is like structure local and foreign partnership to join to develop infrastructure, and also government introduce PPP, public-private partnership model to promote the development of infrastructure.
Hi, myself Sanjay Sharma, CEO of Jenica Healthcare. We are the manufacturer of pharmaceuticals. Yeah, as you know, India is already the biggest exporter of pharmaceuticals all over the world. Export medicine all over the world. So you are like inviting us for the investment in Vietnam. Our government is supporting us in our industry. So why Vietnam? Why what bonus you're getting us? What opportunities you in the matter of land, in the matter of labor, in the matter of government policies, and the documentation.
I'm not expert for pharmaceutical, but I can share with you 3-4 years ago, many Korean pharmaceutical companies. It's like I advise one Korean company, not advise. We are connecting Korean company, 1 million sales pharmaceutical company come to Vietnam, and I think they also have the question similar to you, why Vietnam, right? So in my presentation, I mentioned about the low penetration rate. In the per capita spending on the pharmaceutical of Vietnam is been very low comparing to, right? It's like a macro, issue, macro environment is supporting for the income, for the spending on pharmaceutical. And I think, of course, the market is quite competitive, right? You need not easy to win the auction for selling the pharmaceutical to the hospital, right? But still more and more for the company, they still want to invest. Yeah. So basically, it's I think you can have like good labor with at affordable cost. And also the demand for healthcare spending is on the rise. That kind, I think, issue is sufficient for consideration, I guess.
Give me one information. There's one of the top issues for negotiation between Vietnam and US under the TPP, because USC Vietnam market has a huge opportunity for the pharmacy industry.
If you invest in pharmaceutical in a remote area, in area where there is less economic activities, then you have a subsidies in terms of policy, in terms of tax, in terms of because of the region, not because of the sector. That's number one. Number two, if you are able to team up with any company for export, like you produce for local consumption, but also for export to the ES market, for the EU market, under EFTA, the FTA that Vietnam are enjoying, you will get another benefit. So that the benefit come to you depending on whom you are going to work with, where you are going to invest, and you are going to invest for what purpose, instead of in a general that the pharmaceutical. Because we give priority to nuclear, to clean technology, to IT. Yes, those kind of things which is now high tech, which is
pharmacy also high tech.
So basically, Vietnam can be your gateway to export it further to certain target markets.
We can take a company called Eros Consulting. I'm an investment banker. We help companies raise funds, and we receive many queries from the startups, particularly which want to establish businesses outside India now. They are already established in India, but they are like high growth companies. We are talking about more mature industries today, pharma, hospitality, infra. But there's a new upcoming sector overall like Startup India program is there from Government of India. Does Vietnam have any startup exchange program, or can we actually partner with any agency over there where we can actually take certain startups from India to Vietnam and build synergies?
Startup, in the sense you have a new business together with innovation. There's seemed a little bit a booming in Vietnam over the last 3 years, right? And we are in the process of developing ecosystem for the startup and also the policies, including financial support, tax exemption, all the thing to the for the startup, right? And not just for the startup, but also we think also developing the supporting policy supporting the mentor, venture capital, VC, right? Right now in Vietnam we have about 4,000 startups, right, in the same innovation. And we have about 40 VC venture capital already in Vietnam now. And the most successful startup in Vietnam, they already mobilized, I think 60 or about more or less 100 million US dollars. But most of them quite small, right? Mobilized quite small capital. The problem in Vietnam, fairly speaking, is about, I think, like any developing country, that's how we can have appropriate regulation, in compliance with the digital economy, right? How you're dealing with the Uber, Grab, everything, right? Kind of platform economy. So because of that, so some startup in Vietnam, basically they're Vietnamese, but they register in Singapore as a Singaporean a new business to avoid the complication of regulation. So that's why we try to improve that one.
In Vietnam, there is a trend to support a startup, and we set up a lot of incubator at the provincial level, and even when you open the TV, there is a TV show that promote the young startup, and they invite the well-established and successful business people to team up with any young startup. So the old successful businessman will invest in that kind in a project of one of the young startup if they believe that will be beneficial in the longer run. So we have a lot of schemes and a lot of programs. So I think that you should interact with them and see to which extent you are able to work with them and contribute your own views or share your own experience.
Good evening, my name is Deepak Parvatia, and I am a filmmaker and also a media advisor of a UNESCO-sponsored film festival on disability issues. And Dr. Wu mentioned about Bollywood and the presence of Bollywood in Vietnam. As a filmmaker, I was interested in knowing, if I go there, what type of infrastructural support will I get and how competitive will that be?
After the successful wedding, now our next target is Bollywood. Bollywood, and we try to invite Khan, right? Salman Khan, yes. If you can invite him to Vietnam, you will be awarded. Now, very simple. We are starting working intensively with not only Bollywood but also in Punjab. I was told that Punjab was also very popular with filmmaking, and we don't have yet the system where you shoot a movie and you screen it in India and you get back the cost you spend for the production of that movie in Vietnam. We don't have that system yet. But what we try to do is, number one, we have only one entry point by introducing to one single company. Number two, we can mobilize all the hospitalities industries to help you. Like they can provide you free of charge the hotel, the car people can come, and they can also add something. Yes. And that's the, and also I just got a request from Vietnam National Television. He wants to team up with one drama making in India in order to make a joint drama. Yes, a series between Vietnam and India to be shown on Vietnam National Television and on Indian television. In terms of Vietnam National Television, we have a lot of sponsors because our TV channel, we don't have as many TV channels as India. So the rate of sponsorship is quite high. So please come and invest because now is my next priority.
We run a small multinational brand for MSME. It's a high-tech power tracking system. And we work on interfaces mostly for high-tech corporate companies in auto, pharmaceutical, hospitals. Is there any venture for us to get the brand registered and then opt for tendering and can give you the best automated services for power tracking where it is governed by not the buyer doesn't move, the tracker moves. There is a whole gamut of. We are a Singaporean company based in India and globally also.
So can you like describe your product power tracking you say, right?
Yeah.
What is that?
Instead of wire, we have to use this ducting part. This is ammonium ducting in which the current is passed by the simple, card system. So you put a chip and the current passes through the chip and you can put on the acrylic chip you can put as many switches as you like. So there is no multiple plug, there is no. So there are so many innovations from Singaporean companies and they are working in Australia, Asia, Indonesia. So how far we can get into your Vietnam, it can be part of the future. Thank you, sir.
Quite a number of investors foreign already invested in electricity sector in Vietnam. And whatever we try to increase gradually our tariff, but at the same time we continue to subsidize those try to produce electricity using solar and wind, right? So that's very encouraging.
And sourcing for that region. Also wanted to know if New Zealand has any free trade agreements with Vietnam and
New Zealand?
New Zealand, right. And
we already have ASEAN, Australia, New Zealand FTA. And among ASEAN plus one FTA, ASEAN Japan, ASEAN Korea, ASEAN China, ASEAN India, ASEAN Australia, New Zealand. ASEAN Australia, New Zealand, that's of the highest quality in terms of liberalization, in terms of tariff reduction, coverage of the items compared to other ASEAN plus one FTA.
understand, but is everything zero duty or there are certain items that have tariff? Is it?
Tariff and many others. But among the ASEAN plus one same news, ASEAN India, the lowest one, the degree of liberalization.
Now coming back to the infrastructure, excellent infrastructure. Second thing, people are very friendly and they know English very well. And third thing is, the hotels, because I am in the tourism, so the hotels and the tariffs are very good. Very competitive in comparison to the other, like Singapore and other places. They're expensive. And fourth thing is, as you know, the food is very good. You love food.
Yeah.
You like food. And apart from that, it's a very, I was saying, it's a very big country. Growing country. Developing country. People would like to live. And that's the reason I've been dealing with Vietnam for the last 15 years.
I saw the presentation about policy of China 1 plus. What is it? China. China the policy I want to know.
Yeah, China plus one.
China plus one. And the second question is, what about, I didn't see anything about the software or the IT or IT-enabled services sector in this particular country, and we from India are keen on this front. Thank you. If you can show.
Okay. In China first one, during the last 5 or 10 years, structural economy in China changed. The wage increased very sharply. So no longer China can have the low cost of labor advantage. So that's why many foreign companies, they would like to ship out of China, including Chinese company. So that's why they try to find a new destination. And China plus one in the sense, they on the one hand they continue to invest in China, but they try to find out a new place for investment. And Vietnam and other ASEAN, there's the key major destination they think of, right? And Vietnam can be that one. And I have one more thing. Last year, thanks to the trade war between the US and China, many investors come out from China and come into Vietnam, right? In the short term, trade war between US and China benefit a lot to Vietnam. Of course, short term, or in the long term. Okay, that's one. The second question, IT industry. IT now in the focus of our strategic development strategy. We think we have advantage in IT industry, particularly in the software and the new industry like AI, IoT, right? Artificial intelligence, IoT, and blockchain, you know, all the thing. And many startups in Vietnam also, you know, associated with that industry, IT industry. So that's why I say IT sector, there's a new sector for Vietnam. And we have many supporting policies support that in terms of financial support, in terms of tax exemption for the company for the first few years, right? You don't have to pay the tax, income tax, profit tax, and later on you have to pay only half, for example, as a high-tech technology. Together with that, we developed many incubator, high-tech park in Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City, in Da Nang. That's very much related to the IT industry. Only one problem now. And Vietnam become the number one software outsourcing for Japanese company. Only 2 problems for Vietnam now, all related to human resources. One is right now we have about 200,000 engineers, IT, but we need by 2020 1 million. So training, you know, education, there's a shortage of the IT engineer. And the second, language, right? So if you go to the FPT University, for example, now, FPT one, the biggest private IT company in Vietnam, right? At least you need to learn 2 languages. English, number 1, and Japanese, number 2.
I'm Esther. I am from media. I'm also from government. I'm now retired. I actually came here because my brother works in Vietnam. He does consultancy there in Vietnam. It's a Singapore-based company. I visited Vietnam, Hanoi, and went to Halong Bay as well. A very beautiful country, very beautiful trip we had to Halong Bay. I just wanted to know a little more. I was fascinated by the skilled tailors you have and the kind of designs, and I'm really very appreciative that you all want to brand clothing. I think there's great opportunity for branding clothing. I wanted to understand because both my brother and his children are all involved in this business. Actually, she could not come. She's based in India, Madhavi. She's very much interested in getting clothes designed in Vietnam and exporting it out, including to India. Especially Western clothes are very well designed and tailored. If somebody could connect me with possible things, then we could take this forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you.